Today on Rocket Dreamers, Daisy, Kamz, Daisy Cam? On the 15th of June 2020, I received a Discord message from Kamz. Hey dude, I want to join a team for Rocket League, could you help? What followed then was a lot of interaction to get him connected with the community to help him find a Rocket League team. So am I taking credit for Daisy, for Kamz?
You're goddamn right.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Away from his teammates sitting out there. There's no way. Oh, isn't it this? Oh my word, Daisy!
18-year-old Kamz was born and raised in Johannesburg. He came across Rocket League in 2016 at the age of 12 and messed around for a couple of years with friends. In 2018, he picked up the game for himself and began to grind. By late 2019, he had switched from Xbox to PC and was looking to take the game very seriously. By mid-2020, he was looking for teams and getting into the competitive scene. It wasn't too long until he found himself on a team with Wee Casper and Yopago as Atomic. They competed in a variety of ACGL and Metal State tournaments for close to the next year. After leaving Atomic, he joined Bread and Biscuit Galaxy on Mist Esports and continued to compete wherever he could. Kamz loves to compete and has never been bothered by the small competitive scene in South Africa. The thrill of winning in competition, of being in tense competition is what drove Kamz. By the time late 2021 rolled around, he was happy to continue in that state for the time being. However, fate would soon intervene and change things drastically and change them for the better.
Yeah, so we're super excited to announce that we're introducing Asia Pacific North, Asia Pacific South, MENA, which is Middle East and North Africa, and SSA, Sub-Saharan Africa. These include countries like Saudi Arabia, India, Japan, and even the super passionate fan base in South Africa.
Just before the announcement of SSA's inclusion in the RLCS, Happy Meal approached Kamz to form a team. Kamz then approached To Die For to get on the team. So is Kamz taking credit for To Die For?
You're goddamn right.
Happy Meal, To Die For, and Kamz started the 2021-22 season in the fall split regional number 1 August under the name Water. However, this wasn't their first choice as a team name. Their first choice was OnlyFans. They quickly realized this would raise a few too many eyebrows, so they stuck with the rather vanilla but entirely acceptable Water. Given the scrambled nature of teams forming up to compete in RLCS and not knowing really what to expect, how it would all pan out, I don't think anyone on this team started the season with any great expectations of how far they would go. By the end of the first 3 regionals in the first split, as we started 2022 and they had finished second place on their rankings, I think it is safe to say that the entire team of Water began to dream big. It got better and better for Kamz, Happy Meal, and To Die For. After Regional 1, they were picked up by Bravado Gaming, and they would start the winter split, Regional 1, by taking down the formidable Orlando Pirates team for the first time.
Between these two, Bravado taking it down. To Die For will seal it. They have beaten the mighty Orlando Pirates. They win the upper bracket final.
The first time Orlando Pirates lost a regional, and Bravado had well and truly stamped their authority as a challenger for top team of the region. For the rest of the 21-22 season, it became an almost repetitive occurrence of Orlando Pirates and Bravado Gaming contesting a regional final, and it all culminated in the very last regional of the entire season. Regional 3 of the spring split, it came down once again to Orlando Pirates of Darth, Snowy, and Skillsteel against Bravado's Happy Meal, To Die For, and Kamz, and it couldn't have ended any better. A 14-game bracket reset win for Bravado Gaming, and they had finally, and with no question, secured the second place slot in the region and booked their spot at the world's wildcard. And for the first time in his life, 17-year-old Kamz found himself packing his bags and leaving the country, heading for Dallas, Texas. The World Championships was a baptism of fire for both the SSA wildcard teams, discovering the gap that exists between our region and what they will aspire to be if they are to compete on the world stage. But the experience was invaluable, and not without its highlights.
On target, it might have beaten To Die For on the back post. A couple of good looks from Bravado. They're only down by one. They just need one to go through. It'll go through for Daisy, and Bravado finally on the board. And that history, the first goal at the World Championship scored by a sub-Saharan African player. It's Daisy, and it's to tie game 4.
And Darth, Snowy, Skill Steel, Happy Meal, To Die For, and of course Kamz came back to the region as heroes, as pioneers, as trailblazers for the future of Rocket League in this region. At the conclusion of World, during the roster chaos of the off-season, Happy Meal and Kamz picked up Eli Kim and were signed by Orlando Pirates. They would compete the second season of SSA in RLCS under the Orlando Pirates banner. Kamz admits they didn't perform as well as they would have liked in the first split, finishing second and then third to fourth in the 3 regional. But by the end of it, they find themselves in familiar territory, second in the region and in line to book yet another world spot. However, competition for that second place spot has never been tougher, with 2, 3, 4, 5 teams all vying for that position. They have their work cut out for the rest of this season. Kamz turned 18 in November 2022 and completed high school by the end of the year. He begins 2023 with a single-minded focus on Rocket League. He is clearly an impact player and a valuable asset on any team. His current coach, CP Zebra, had this to say about him. As a coach, I don't think you can really ask for a better player. I mean, we all know he is a good player, but what really sets him apart from a lot of people I've taught is his willingness to accept his part of the responsibility for losses and where exactly he can improve and make a change. There were 1,000 excuses, scapegoats, and other things to blame. He came to me and asked, what do I change to win? I've coached a lot of players and I can easily say he is in the top 3 and has some of the best potential. He is at the prime age and on top he has a good work ethic, so he will be able to maintain or rise above the competition. Speaking of that work ethic, over a 2-week period he will spend anything from 60 to 100 hours in Rocket League. 65% of that time spent in free play, 35% in ranked and or scrims. He is constantly grinding to improve. What does the future hold for Kamz? Having just completed high school, he now has around a year to focus on Rocket League. Will he be with us for another season, another 2, another 3? Only time will tell. Like so many others at his age, it's a pivotal time, a life-changing time. But for now, for the foreseeable future, he is going to grind Rocket League. He is going to go as far as this rocket will take him.
You call me a